Another mass shooting at a school. Columbine, Sandy Hook, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, now Uvalde, Texas.
These kids weren't unlucky. This only happens in this country and nowhere else. Nowhere else do little kids go to school thinking that they might be shot that day.
An 18-year-old goes on a shooting rampage, killing 19 children and 2 teachers, and injuring as many as a dozen others.
Sending your kid to school and having them never come home again, it doesn't compare to anything.
Tonight, families rushing to reunite with their terrified children, while others will never get that chance.
To lose a child is like having a piece of your soul ripped away.
And tonight, this country is once again trying to make sense of a senseless act of violence.
A school full of second, third, and fourth graders became the target of deadly violence. Tonight, the community of Uvalde, Texas, is in mourning and desperate for answers. NBC 10's Brian Sheehan is joining us now from our NBC 10 newsroom with new details on the victims and the investigation. Brian.
Jim and Jacqueline, there's still much we don't know about the suspected gunman or his motive, but State Senator Roland Gutierrez says that during a briefing with the Texas Rangers today, the suspect purchased 2 assault rifles on his 18th birthday. And late tonight, we also learned one of the victims is identified as Eva Mariles. A relative told the New York Times she was a 4th grade teacher who was shot and killed as she tried to protect her students.
I'd hoped when I became president, I would not have to do this.
A visibly emotional President Joe Biden addressed a nation in mourning tonight, hours after a gunman shot and killed 19 children and 2 adults at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas.
Parents who will never see their child again, never have them jump in bed and cuddle with them.
Authorities in Texas say the 18-year-old suspect who lived in the area of the school shot his grandmother sometime this morning and took off. Then, around 11:30, local law enforcement received a call about a crash and a man with a gun near Robb Elementary School.
The suspect was able to make entry into the school and started shooting children, teachers, anybody that was in his way. He started shooting every single person.
I heard 2 pops.
Bobby Studer heard the gunshots as he left the school. He was inside mere seconds before delivering flowers to his wife, who's retiring Friday. Studer says she and her students were not harmed.
Her class and everybody that was around her got in the cafeteria and just kind of turned off the lights, got on the stage, started papering the windows. She said the kids were real good.
Authorities say once police arrived on scene, they were met with gunfire and the suspect, who carried a long rifle and wore body armor.
Several officers were shot.
Officials say after a shootout, the suspect was shot and killed. Meanwhile, desperate parents picked up their children at a nearby reunification center.
We're a small community, and we'll need your prayers to get us through this.
Tonight, as a community grieves, law enforcement and the country continue their search for answers.
We have ATF, we have FBI, multiple law enforcement agencies on scene working together to try to identify how the suspect was able to obtain this rifle, and also, most importantly, to see what kind of motives the suspect had.
Tonight, the district superintendent said the remainder of the school year is canceled. It was scheduled to end on Thursday. In the newsroom, I'm Brian Sheehan, NBC 10 News.
A community shattered in Texas, Brian. And for some broader context here, we did some checking on school violence, gun violence in schools. The group Education Week says this is the 27th shooting at a school this year. That same group recorded a total of 34 school shootings in all of last year. Today's shooting in Texas is also the deadliest at a U.S. grade school since 2012. You recall that's when a gunman killed 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut. And today, Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut gave an impassioned speech on the Senate floor, begging his colleagues to do something to stop the violence. But tonight, some Republicans are already pushing back.
But I'm here on this floor to beg, to literally get down on my hands and knees and beg my colleagues. Find a path forward here.
You see Democrats and a lot of folks in the media whose immediate solution is to try to restrict the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. That doesn't work. It's not effective. It doesn't prevent crime.
The push to change U.S. gun policies have consistently faced roadblocks from Republicans and interest groups like the NRA. A year after Sandy Hook in 2013, Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey helped to negotiate a bipartisan proposal to expand the nation's background check system, but it didn't have enough support in the Senate. Then last year, the House passed 2 bills to expand background checks and close loopholes for gun sales. Both failed to get enough support in the Senate once again. But the voices in this fight go far beyond Washington tonight. Just minutes before the Golden State Warriors were set to play in Texas, NBA coach Steve Kerr spoke with raw emotion at the microphone.
I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough.
In just a few days, top lawmakers in Texas are scheduled to attend the National Rifle Association's annual convention in Houston. It's unclear if those lawmakers are still planning to attend. Jackie?
And because today's mass shooting and so many others involve children, psychologists say it's important we all know how to talk to them about what happened, especially how to mentally process the trauma. Trauma psychologist Mary E. May tells us your children may not immediately feel strongly affected by the news of today, but as more details come out, feelings change. She suggests adults always make sure a child or adolescent knows they are free to speak with adults. Watch out for changes in their behavior, moods, appetite, or sleep patterns. Get professional help if you notice a change. Lastly, keep a regular daily routine and limit exposure to all forms of media.
When we're looking at the news, it's like once you get the story and you hear the facts, be able to turn it off. Like not to consume it over and over and over again, because then that unsettled energy that is happening outside in the world transfers into how you're unable to kind of detach yourself.
She also says you should establish what safety looks like and how it works for your specific family. Then share that information often so children know what to do if they are ever in danger. NBC 10 will be following the latest developments from Texas as they unfold. Our own Miguel Martinez Valle will be headed to Uvalde to bring us live reports starting tomorrow.